Hello everyone, welcome back to my class of Company Law and Secretarial Practice. So in this class, I'm going to deal with the company meetings and this is the last module, okay? So let's come to this. Before starting my discussion, if you're not yet subscribed, do subscribe now, like it and share the video to your friends also, right? So let's begin the class. Company meetings, as you know, there are so many stakeholders of the company who are called as shareholders. They are the owners of the company. Creditors are there who are connected with the company, who supply the goods on credit basis to the organization, and debenture holders who fund the company in the form of loan, right? So there are so many people who are connected with the company and they all do some meetings. Company has to organize meetings for them also, right? To discuss the matters relating to the company affairs and make some decisions related to that. And there is a meeting called general meeting of members to provide a forum to all the general body meeting. It is called as, so there in the general meeting, all the shareholders will be there. And it is the opportunity that the company has created to all the owners or the shareholders to express their views related to the company management and all, right? So that's why it is very important. And what are the types and all we will discuss in this class only, okay? And the primary purpose of conducting meeting is to ensure that the company gives reasonable and fair opportunity to those who are concerned with this to participate in the meeting and take decisions as per the prescribed procedures. Okay, it means every person who is concerned with the organization, they do get the opportunity to speak over there and they can participate in that and they can share their views also. And finally, decisions are made in connection with such meetings. Okay, so let's begin with meaning. What do you mean by meeting? So as all of you know, meeting means what and all. So generally what it is defined as a gathering or assembly or getting together of number of persons for transacting any lawful business, okay, to deal with the lawful matters, business related matters and all. Meeting is very, very essential. Okay, so getting together of number of persons who are concerned with that field, they will come together, they discuss there and they finally come with the outcome. That outcome itself is called as resolutions. Okay, so there must be at least, as everybody knows, how many people are at least the minimum number of persons to be present at a meeting is 2 number, right? So there must be at least 2 persons to constitute a meeting. Therefore, one shareholder usually cannot constitute a company meeting, even if he holds proxies for other shareholders. Okay, so one person will be getting only one vote, right? And he cannot alone conduct a meeting also, right? A company meeting must be convened. In fact, there is a provision that company meeting should be convened to the concerned person well in advance, okay? And held in perfect compliance with the various provisions of the Companies Act. So there is a certain format, procedure is there. So as per the law or as per the Companies Act 2013, the provisions which are applicable to conduct the meeting all are to be complied with, okay? And what are the rules framed thereunder are to be followed by the company while conducting the meeting, right? So let's move on to the characteristics of a company meeting, okay? What are the characteristics? That a company's meeting is to get together of 2 or more than 2 persons. Minimum requirement is 2 and more is not over mentioned over there. Okay. And before a meeting is held, the members are given a notice about the meeting. That itself is a notice is to be conveyed, okay, to the either maybe board of directors may be there, the shareholders may be there, the creditors may be there, the debenture holders may be there, whomsoever, but a notice is to be conveyed well in advance. Okay. And the third characteristic is a meeting is held at a specific place and time. Time is well in advance, it is decided, and the venue, that is place of the meeting, is also decided. So for the general meeting, there is a condition, there is a provision that the general meeting is to be organized in the office itself or in the same city where the registered office is situated. Okay. So time during the working hours only it should be conducted. That's why, as per the provisions of the Companies Act, a meeting is to be held at a specific place and time. Okay. And company's meeting is held according to the provisions of the Companies Act. So that's why these are all the characteristics. According to these only, the meeting is to be conducted. Okay. Let's move on to the very important part, that is classification of meeting. Broad categorization. Broad classification is made here. Company meetings are categorized into three parts mainly. First one is shareholders meeting. Second one is directors meeting. Third one is special meetings. Okay. So shareholders meetings are again of three types. What are those? The first one is statutory meeting, is also of shareholders. Annual general meeting is also of shareholders. And the third one is extraordinary general meeting. It is again of shareholders only. Okay. So what these are all? In this chapter, this part is very important for you, right? Shareholders meeting is classified into these three types. What are these? All these three types of meetings you need to learn in this. And next one is directors meeting, is categorized into board meeting, and next is committee. What is this? Here the meeting is organized for the directors. So the members of the board are called as directors of the board of directors. They are called as, okay. Those who are there, in fact, the board is the governing body of the company, right? And all the policies, all the important matters, decisions are all decided, conducted by the board of directors only, right? So that's why organizing board meeting is the duty of the secretary, company secretary. He has to organize, convey a notice well in advance to the board of directors, and then organize it properly. And whatever the discussions are made over there, those are to be recorded properly by the company secretary. Those are called as resolutions. In the minute book, he has to record all the things. Okay. So there is a procedure. The board meeting, the participants of the board meeting are all directors. Okay. There is one more called as directors meeting, that is committee meeting. It means for specific activities of the organization company, the activities are categorized accordingly. The directors will become the members of that committee. Okay. So that may be related to the purchase and purchase of some assets may be there. For that, one committee of directors will be there. The documents have to be verified by them. They have to visit the sites and whatever, right? If they are buying the assets, then that department, that committee will be there. Every document will pass through that committee. Finally, it will be brought to the notice of board of directors. Okay. So here also the members of committee are directors only, but different committees will be made in the company, and that committees are of directors only, and they will be having their own committee meetings. Okay. That is called as committee meeting. Let's come to the third one, that is special meeting, right? So these are again of two classes, two types. One is class meeting, another one is called as creditors meeting. Okay. Class meeting means there are varieties. Just now I told you stakeholders are there, right? So class meeting is of shareholders only. Ordinary shareholders are there, and preferential shareholders may be there, and the shares are issued to the employees also. Shares are issued to the management also, right? Different classes of shares are there. So that's why if they call only the employees, those who have the shares of the organization, that is ESOP, we call it as employees stock option plan is there, no, ESOP. So there the company, instead of giving them the bonus, the company offers the shares to the company employees. Okay. So if they want to organize a meeting for them, that class of people, then it is called as class meeting. Okay. Whom the company is calling, whether the redeemable preferential shares, if the company has issued, then they will call only the redeemable preferential shareholders only. Okay. So likewise, the different classes of equity shares are there. That's why accordingly the meetings are conducted. Okay. Next comes creditors meeting. So this is of the people who supply the goods on the credit basis to the organization. They are the one who are helping the organization. They may be having their own demands, right, with the company at that time. If the company wants to convey some important matter to them, the company will organize a creditors meeting. Debenture holders meeting also may be there here in this class. Okay. So that's why this is called as special meeting. Once in a while, whenever it is required, only at that time the company does such meetings. Okay. That's why these are called as special meetings. So let us move on to the important core part, that is the first part, shareholders meetings. So as you have seen in the chat that shareholders meetings are again categorized into 3 parts. One is statutory meeting. One more is called as AGM or annual general meeting. The third one is called as extraordinary general meeting. As everybody knows, the abbreviation used for annual general meeting is AGM and EGM. You may get a 2 marks question. What is statutory meeting? You may get, or expand AGM and EGM, you may get a question. That's why you must be knowing the meanings of all these 3. Or what is annual general meeting for 2 marks also? Or what are the types of shareholders meeting for 5 marks? You may get a question. Okay. So that's why if the question is asked for 10 marks, the whole chart you will have to draw and explain the parts for 10 marks. Okay. Now let's move on to the first one. What is statutory meeting? Okay, company law, statutory meeting is once in its lifetime. It is organized only one time. When it is organized and where it is applicable, what type of companies have to do a statutory meeting? Let's deal with this. A company, public company limited by shares or limited by guarantee, having share capital, has to call a statutory meeting. Okay, what is this? One is a public company limited by shares or limited by guarantee. And if it is limited by guarantee, it has to having share capital, right? So companies limited by guarantees may have share capital or they may not have share capital. With share capital, without share capital, such companies are also there. Okay, but statutory meeting is applicable to such a company, that private company, don't say so. It is not private, it is public company limited by shares, limited by guarantee, and it has to have a share capital, has to call a statutory meeting within a period of not less than 1 month and not more than 6 months. It means from the date at which the company is entitled to commence the business. It means company, after passing all the 4 stages of formation of a company, you are learnt in the earlier videos and all. So promotion stage is there, incorporation stage, third one is capital subscription stage, and the last one is commencement stage. Okay, one in the commencement stage, it prepares everything and it processes, it gets a certificate, that is commencement certificate from the registrar of the companies. Okay, so on that certificate, whatever the date is mentioned, from that date onwards, okay, after pass, not less than, it means not within that 1 month period, after passing 1 month and within 6 months, the statutory meeting is to be held from the date of commencement. Okay, so commencement of business, what is the date mentioned on the certificate, from that date onwards, after passage of 1 month till the completion of 6 months, the company has to organize a statutory meeting as per the provisions of the Companies Act 2013. Once in its lifetime, every company which is a public company limited by shares or limited by guarantee having share capital has to conduct a statutory meeting. However, a private company is not required to hold a statutory meeting. There is no compulsion for the private company to hold it. But every public limited company limited by shares or limited by guarantee having share capital has to organize a statutory meeting. Let's move on to the second type of meeting. What it is? AGM, short form. Abbreviation is AGM, Annual General Meeting. Okay, what it is? After completing a financial year, the financial year begins on 1st of April of every year and ends on 31st of March of next year. Okay, so after completion of this financial year, before the expiry of 6 months, okay, every organization has to conduct an AGM. Okay, general meeting means shareholders meeting, right? AGM, annually, every year after completing the financial year, it has to call the general meeting. Okay, so shareholders meeting, it is a meeting known as an annual general meeting, is required to be held by every company, public, it may be public or private, limited by shares or by guarantee, with or without share capital, or unlimited company. Every year, all these types of companies have to organize annual general meeting. Okay, so however, a company may hold its first annual general meeting within 18 months from the date of its incorporation. So from the date of its incorporation, if the company is a private company limited Okay. That company begins its operations right from the day of incorporation. Okay. When it gets the incorporation certificate, the very next moment it can begin its operations, right? So that's why here it is mentioned that a company may hold its first annual general meeting within 18 months from the date of incorporation, right? And next comes extraordinary general meeting. It is a little bit different. Annually, annual general meeting is held. Extraordinary is not held annually, but whenever it is very much urgent, okay, it is very much essential at that time. It cannot avoid or postpone the meeting. At that time, the organization has to organize extraordinary general meeting. Okay. General meeting held between two AGMs. It means it is in between, one AGM, first year AGM or a second year, whatever, 2 years AGM. It is in between that 2 years AGM, that is called as extraordinary general meeting. Okay. Any general meeting held between two annual general meetings will be called an extraordinary general meeting. And business which arise between two annual general meetings are being urgent. Okay, they cannot wait. I told they cannot postpone till the next AGM, right? They being urgent and cannot be extended till the next annual general meeting is termed as extraordinary general meeting, right? So the purpose of AGM is to consider and approve the important changes to the company's articles of association, or it may take a decision. Major transactions are there, such as merger and acquisition. The company is going for the merger, or it is going to acquire the another company, or remove any director. It is very much urgent, to remove the director. At that time, it has to go for EGM, right? It cannot wait till the next AGM. That's why in between it conducts one more meeting, urgent meeting. It is called as extraordinary general meeting, right? And EGM may also be called in response to the request from the significant number of shareholders. Sometimes what happens, the shareholders compel the organization to organize the extraordinary general meeting due to some significant matter is there, important matter is there, that should be discussed by the board of directors as well as rest of the shareholders. At that time, shareholders only request the requisition letter will be moved by the shareholders to organize extraordinary general meeting. Here we have concluded all the 3 types of meetings as well as the chart you have discussed with. Thank you very much. If you have any kind of questions in connection with this part, feel free to ask it in the comment box. And next week, I'll come with the secretarial duties. What are the secretarial duties in connection with the meetings? That is, before organizing general meeting, what are the duties? During the meeting, what are the duties of a secretary? And after completing the meeting, what are the duties of a company secretary? Okay, that is also very important. Thank you very much.